There once was a miller who had 3 sons, a mill, a donkey, and a cat. The sons worked in the mill. The donkey brought in the grain and carried away the flour. The cat chased away the mice to stop them from eating the grain. Let's help the cat. Tap the mice to chase them away. Thanks for chasing away the mice. Time for a cat nap. Meow. When the miller passed away, he left the mill to his eldest son and the donkey to his second son. The youngest son was left with just the cat. He was very disappointed. "What are we gonna do, Puss?" he said, looking at his cat. "My eldest brother can make flour. My other brother can carry sacks on his donkey. But what good is a cat?" "Don't worry," said the cat. "Give me a bag, a hat, and a pair of boots, and you'll be surprised what can happen." The miller's son was amazed. "Any cat that can speak must be very clever," he said to himself. The next day, the miller's son walked into town with his last few coins to buy a bag, a hat, and some boots for his cat. Let's dress Puss. Give him a hat or a pair of boots. Abracadabra! Magic idea, but this robe is too long.
An astronaut? Awesome! But it's very dark in here.
Arg! Shiver me timbers! I can't see with this patch on. Try these boots. The perfect. You can call me Puss in Boots. Puss proudly put on his boots and hat, threw the bag over his shoulder, then walked down the road just like a person. Puss soon arrived at the mill, where he grabbed a few handfuls of grain. Dropping them in his bag, he set off again. The king who ruled the land longed for a garden filled with wonderful animals. Alas, the creatures in his kingdom were easily scared, and no hunter could catch them. But Puss had a clever plan. Puss walked deep into the forest. Opening his bag wide, the cat scattered a handful of grain on the ground. Then he hid in the bushes and waited. Just as the sun was setting, a beautiful peacock saw the grain, wandered over, and hopped into the bag. Snap! Puss quickly shut his bag tight and caught the peacock. Then he ran to the king's castle as fast as his legs would carry him. Help Puss run to the king's castle. Tap him to jump over rocks and bushes. Puss marched into the castle and asked to see the king. Amazed by the sight of a talking cat, the guards let him in. The cat was brought before the throne. There, with a low bow and a wave of his hat, Puss opened his bag and let out the peacock. "Your Majesty," he said, "my master, the Count, sends you this gift." When he saw the peacock, the king was delighted.
"Thank your master for his kind gift.
he said.
"This peacock will look beautiful in my garden. In return, please go to my treasure house. There, fill your bag with your weight in gold."
Fill Puss's sack with enough treasure to balance the seesaw. The gold bars are too heavy. Have another go. Meow, just right. The miller's son will be very pleased. While Puss filled his bag with gold, the miller's son was wondering where his cat had gone.
"What a fool I am," he cried, "to spend my last coins on boots for a cat."
Just then, Puss walked up and opened his bag. A shower of gold coins tumbled onto the ground.
"Look what you get for buying those boots,"
Puss said with a grin.
"Soon you will be even richer. I told the king you are a count."
The next evening, Puss went back to the forest. This time, he caught 2 rabbits in his bag. Once more, the cat went to the king and said they were a gift from his master, the count. Each and every day, Puss brought a new animal to the king for his garden. After 3 weeks, he decided to catch something really special. Help Puss collect some butterflies. Tap on a paw when a butterfly is close by. Well done. Meow. The king will be very happy. The king loved butterflies.
"I feel so happy,"
He said to his daughter, a beautiful princess.
"Let's go for a ride in our carriage along by the river."
Puss quickly ran home and told the miller's son, "If you want to get rich, just follow me and do what I say." The miller's son followed the cat to the river. Here, Puss told him to take off his clothes and jump in. Then the cat hid the young man's clothes under a large stone. A few moments later, the king's carriage came rolling by. Puss ran out into the road and cried out,
"Your Majesty, my master, the Count, was going for a swim when a bold robber stole his clothes."
The king told his servants to run back to the castle and fetch some of his own clothes.
"Hurry up," he said. "Then row over to the Count in that boat."
Take the king's clothes to the miller's son. Tap the boat to avoid monsters and pirates. Dressed in the king's clothes, the miller's son looked like a real count. "How handsome he looks," thought the princess. Remembering the count's many gifts, the king invited him to ride in his carriage. Puss ran ahead to a large field where dozens of people were busy cutting the hay. "The king is about to ride by," he said. "When he asks who owns this field, you must say, 'The Count.'" The people were so scared by the sight of a talking cat, they agreed. Soon after, the king drove by and asked who the fields belonged to. The workers replied,
"The Count, Your Majesty." "What a rich man he must be,"
said the king to himself.
I wonder if he is clever too.
So the king decided to play a game with the count to test his wits. Help solve the puzzle. Find the ball hidden under the cups.
Not bad. Can you do it again? Pretty good. Now try this. You're getting better. Just one more go.
Wow, you're so clever. Once more, Puss raced ahead of the carriage. The cat ran and ran until at last he spied a castle hidden in the woods. A wicked ogre lived here, famous for his magic powers. Puss ran up and knocked at the door. There was no reply. Puss pushed open the door and walked quietly in. Inside, there were lots of doors, but no one to be seen. Explore the castle. Knock on the correct door, then move Puss into the next room.
Meow. Meow.
Yikes! It's the ogre! The fearsome ogre terrified Puss. Though he was shaking in his boots, the cat said boldly, "I am Puss in Boots. I hear you can change into any animal you like." "Easily," said the ogre proudly. "Just name the animal." See what animals the ogre can change into. Tap the button to spin the wheel. A donkey. Those ears are too big. Try again. A dragon. Too scary. Try again. A bat. Too spooky. Keep trying. Aha! A mouse. Now I can catch you.
Meow.
Puss's eyes lit up when he saw the little mouse scampering across the floor. With one swift pounce, he gobbled it down, and that was the end of the ogre. Not long after, the king's carriage came upon the castle. Puss, hearing the rumbling wheels, ran to the gate and cried, "Welcome to the Count's castle!"
What a fine castle,
said the king.
dear Count. You would make a good husband for my daughter.
The princess agreed, for the miller's son was kind and handsome. A year later, the princess and the miller's son were married. They lived happily ever after in the ogre's castle. As for Puss, he spent his days strolling through the town in his boots or warming himself by the fire in the great hall.
Meow.
See you next time!